say? Huh? This week's photography lesson is painted black. I'm looking for you dirty rats to come up with some nice black and white photography. Huh? Here's what you gotta think about from some of my great examples coming up right now. After that, we're gonna look at some reviews from last week. Mr. Goodison talking about some things, objects of desire. I'll see you kids next week and keep shooting. Okay, so what I want you to think about this week when you're taking your pictures is your light and your dark contrast, huh? Think about your lines. Think about how to make shadows. You want to use artificial and natural light. Maybe you use a lamp. Maybe you use a torch. Or maybe you use the sunlight, which I don't like. You need to be bright on your lighter colors and your surfaces to get the contrast with the black and the white. You might want to think about how your grays are incorporated with your shadows. Add filters on your phone and change the camera setting to monochrome. Have fun, be creative, be abstract. Think about your lines. The review for this week, Objects of Desire. Not as many uploads. I'm not taking that personally at all. The ones that are in here have really kind of not only stuck to the brief, but they've been creative as well, and they've kind of done as I kind of would have expected with this, which was nice. So I showed you initial examples of some of the objects, personal possessions of mine at home, just to give you an indication, so you can see them and you can get an idea of kind of maybe what that person's into, what they're about, and the composition of that as well, and looking at the lighting and kind of how you lay those objects out, which is what you've done here, which is brilliant. So we'll go through some of these. Nice to see some new additions. Derek. So Derek has uploaded his. So if you didn't know Derek, and even if you do know Derek, you'll get an indication from this composition about what about Derek himself and what he's into. So we've got his Lumix camera there. We've got his model train set, and then behind that we've got his chess game actually, sorry, yeah, Lord of the Rings themed chess game. So I imagine those pieces look quite nice. Would have maybe been nice to have seen one or two of those pieces as well, Derek, but I do like that you've used that as a backdrop to frame all this, so that works really well, I think. Great lighting, love the detail on the train there as well, and I like the way you've laid this out. Actually, I think it works really well. It's really good composition, so thank you for that. Hola, Nancy, really nice to see some of your stuff in here. And again, composition wise, I think this is absolutely great. Flags here, so we're looking at nationality. We know that that Nancy has family, Spanish family, a husband, hope she won't mind me saying. So there's some roots there, so I think this works nice, and I like the way that that's laid out in terms of composition, the angle of the two flags. Didn't know you were into classical music, that's nice, some Tchaikovsky there and Beethoven. We've got knitting, and good to see actually, rather than just maybe a knitted piece, we've got a collection, a collage of them underneath, which is nice. And the knitting needles, again, really nice touch, thinking about the composition of the piece. And then in the middle here, we've got parts of adapters for lenses. So nice, so we get an indication as well of that's a hobby, that's something that we're interested in. Really nicely lit. I like that it's on the tile background as well. I think that's a really nice contrast, actually. Perfectly done. Really, really pleased with that. Thank you, Nancy. Kath, I liked this as well. I like the angle, actually, of it. Because of the text, it's quite nice that it draws that perspective down. So we've got a John Grisham book and a Hits album 6. I'm wondering whether to try and guess the year. 86? I don't know. I like that it works. I think it works in black and white quite nicely as well. We've got a little bit of background there, but because of our depth of field, that's out of focus, and I think that adds quite nicely to the black and white feel. So some nice detail as well on the album cover there. Good lighting, really well done. John Allen. This looks like a studio lit product styled shot. Really, really nice. Love this depth of field here. We can kind of just maybe make out that it's a bike helmet because we've got the glove. Again, Triumph synonymous with that as well, so that kind of gives us an indication and a nod to it being kind of biker themed product there. And I love the kind of that the main focus here is the watch and the ring and the band. Again, very personal items that mean something. We're not sure what, but I think it gives quite an interesting perspective on who this person is and what they're into, both hobby-wise and personally as well. And I think it's absolutely brilliantly lit, really nice, because it draws out that detail, and you can see actually here, I really like the texture there and the contrast for that background, so I think that's really nice. And the light kind of reflected onto the watch. Just really nice detail. Very good indeed. Nice to see one in colour as well, John. Vanessa, this was good. Again, if you go on the photo pool, the download, all the photos that are on there, you'll see a collection of these from Vanessa, because it was nice, as I asked, to see some of these actually individual shots of kind of some of the stuff that you've used to build up your collage. But I see this has been edited to do that, and nothing wrong with that, because I think that's a bit different. Rather than having all these laid out as a product and as something that's designed, I think it's really nice to have all of these actual individual photos brought up into a collage. So that's really nice. So we've got tattoos, which are important to Vanessa. I like this. I'm not sure what that is. That kind of Scottish. Don't know. It does look familiar, but and the red phone box. That's really nice. Music. Look at that beautiful old record player. Made out as a Ford Mustang radio dash there. That's really nice. Obviously, we know keen photographer. Paulo Coelho book there. So a lot of that, if you've read The Alchemist, it's quite an interesting read. A lot kind of around kind of philosophy, so that's quite interesting. Which links, I guess, as well into kind of travel and know from kind of your previous shots, your self-portrait stuff that had stuff around you travelling, so and that's very important. So again, works really well to give an indication of kind of who you are personally, so I think that's a really nice one. 5 things I love. No tattoo gun. Wonder who's doing their own tattoos at home. Tempting. Back to gallery. The last two, I just pulled this one out because, as I'd said, I'd asked for kind of individual objects of stuff that you'd taken to build up these kind of montages, and this one was John's, and again I just really liked this. Black and white, really well lit, lovely detail on the way that the light's kind of forming that band on the ring, and I love the reflection as well, the lines that draw you through, and that lovely depth of field there. Really nice shot. Same with Guy's a guy had taken a collection of different images as well. And although these are kind of the same, I think this is really quirky and a nice take on kind of objects. One object, but kind of multiple objects in the Russian doll. Good composition as well. I think the background works well. Again, we've got these kind of this line in focus, although this leading to that kind of out of focus. But and the colours on that work as a nice contrast to draw you out from the background. So really nice job. I'm really pleased with those. It's nice to get, or I'm hoping that you maybe have looked at them and thought, yeah, okay, I can kind of get an indication of maybe what this person is about from these. So top job. Think about your lines.